Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and welcome to the first ever LEGO set that I am covering. Today, we are talking about the Little Mermaid Deluxe Royal Clamshell, released for the live-action Little Mermaid. It retails for about $150 here in the US, I believe. It's quite expensive, it's a big set. It has 1,808 pieces, and it took 8 hours to put together in total, which I did not record any of the process for because I'm not insane. Anyway, I took all the minifigures off of it because we're going to cover them individually in a bit. You can hear them, like, clattering about as I shuffle them to the side. But before we cover the minifigures, I want to cover the set itself. Now, getting up close and personal, you have this throne room, coral reef sort of thing. You know, the castle in the movie is not actually a castle. It's more like a cluster of rocks and coral, which is honestly kind of disappointing now that I think about it and say that out loud. It was more majestic when I was actually watching the movie for the first time, but, you know, thinking back on it, I'm like, you know what? No. The mer people could have had a giant castle made out of magical seashells. This is a fairy tale. Why is it just a cluster of rocks and coral? But, you know, it's represented here fairly interestingly. It's got lots of translucent blue sparkly pieces on it, which are very cool. Lots of coral. I wish it had more coral. I wish it had more of these pieces, but in different colors, like jutting off the back and giving it more of a... Because there's a lot of, like, coral in Triton's throne room. A lot more, like, pink in there, too. Lots of pink. Literally, the curtains are just a wall of pink coral, and that is not represented here in any way, shape, or form, except for the coral that is on the floor of the set, which is the, like, tree leaf piece you can see there. And we'll get to that in a sec. But it's got 3 chairs. They're not really chairs. You can put Ariel or her sisters in any one of these pieces. Karina's hair just does not want to stay in the direction I want. And then, of course, Triton has his space right there. Also, these can detach, and oftentimes do detach, because the mermaids get stuck to them. Their tails have very good clutch power, and so they get stuck. They get stuck sometimes. They stick to the chairs fairly well, which I suppose is a good thing. You know, mermaids aren't going anywhere. Speaking of things that involve the mermaids, there are these clear rods which are adjustable on the set. You can point them up or to a more neutral position, and they have a little spot on the ends of each of them that you can attach any of the minifigures to. It's very hard to do it, but, you know, you can have swimming mermaids. Or swimming fish. You can put Flounder on here, too, because he's got his own little thing. And, you know, he can bob up and down. It's Flounder, yay, look at him go. Yay. We're going to put him off to the side, too, because the set counts him as a minifigure, so I might as well, too. Anyway, that's the upper layer. The upper layer also has these magenta fish that are, like, floating off to the side here. A school of them, just a school of 3. And that will transition us down into the depths, aka the lower tier of the set. Traveling down, you can see Ariel'S Grotto along with the shipwreck here. Ariel'S Grotto is fairly small. It's very hidden. It's... Oh dear. Almost knocked my camera over. Let's see if I can lift you guys up and show you what it looks like in there. You've got a pair of binoculars, a teapot, a brush, an hourglass, and I forget what this is for, but it's for the stars. It's not an atlas, is it? That's not what it's called. I don't remember what the name for it is. It'll probably come to me later. But it is for charting your course. And of course, you know, you've got the mast of the ship and the ship's remnants, which are resting over a bunch of coins and coral. And the dingle hopper, it's down there too. We love the dingle hopper. It's just a fork. Just a silver fork, but it's cool. We like it. There it is. There's also a pirate sword here too, with which you can put into any minifigure's hands, change the course of the story, make Ariel murder Ursula a lot earlier on in the plot. You know, because reasons. This little patch of coral here is just kind of here. It's got these orange fish near it. And there's Sebastian. Sebastian's just a generic red crab. So, you know, that's a fairly accurate representation of him, I guess. And this is where the set recommends that you display Flounder. It puts him somewhere around here. Just sort of floating with the other fish in the reef. Very cool. And then you shift over to Ursula's lair, which is, you know, a very interesting little corner. It's got this red jellyfish lamp, question mark. Maybe it's her cauldron. I can't honestly tell. Because she does have a lot of red jellyfish lamps in her lair in the film. And then she's got her rack of potion ingredients back there, which are built into the wall in a fairly interesting way, in my opinion. They are not removable once you put them in there. Not really, anyways. It's kind of hard, except for the stuff on the very top shelf, I suppose. Also, Ursula can't really fit inside of her lair. Like, you can put her towards the front, I suppose. Like, in here, back here. But if you want her to float, it's kind of hard to get her deeper in there because her tentacles want to push her out of the way. I suppose that's about as far in as I've been able to get her with this little clear floating brick that she has, that she is pretty decently stuck on. Like, I can't get her off of it without using both hands. It's very good. Very good. It helps her float through the set. And though this is not in the instructions, with the additional coral pieces off to the side, the rocks here were pretty bland, so I just under the sea-ified them a little bit more, and now there's a little bit of coral here, just to make the rock work feel a little less bland. I know Ursula's corner is supposed to be, like, dark and brooding, but it feels like it bookends the set in a nice way, doing it like that. And with that out of the way, it is time to go over the minifigures. Not including Flounder and Sebastian, this set includes 5 minifigures in total. The set does count Flounder as a minifigure. He's just the standard Flounder, piece that was introduced with the Disney Princess line, just with the color palette of the live-action incarnation. As for the regular minifigures, though, the standards, if you will, we have Ariel, our leading lady, the princess of our hearts. We love her so much. She is very sparkly. She's got metallic green, pink, and purple scales on her. Very cool, and that does continue on the backside for her top, and she has an alternate expression of this sort of open mouth singing voice sort of thing. Like, it looks like she's belting Part of Your World. And there she is. We love her. This hairpiece is sort of rubbery. It's like a Lego Friends piece. It's got hole in the very top and hole in the side for other elements that you can use to decorate her hair with. And of course, that's the underside of her tail with this piece. It's a very different mermaid tail than what I am personally used to. I've never had minifigures with this tooling before, but I am aware that it was introduced with the video series. clear that's like the Lego line titled video. That's sort of like the AR app thing that was very short-lived. Not a video series with Legos. And of course, we see that tail piece 2 other times in this set with Ariel'S sisters, Indira and Karina. They both have glittery makeup. Indira has gold eyeshadow, Karina has silver, Indira has deep red lips, Karina has frosty pink. And they also both have alternate expressions. Indira's makes a little bit more sense warranting one because it's an open mouth smile with raised eyebrows. It's very different from the first expression. Karina's makes less sense to have because there's not really much of a change. It's just it goes from a more neutral smile to a smirk with a slight eyebrow raise. Not all that drastically different. And, of course, Karina's tail is a little bit better at representing what hers looks like in the films. Indira, as a minifigure as a whole, is not super accurate to what she looks like in the movie. For starters, the hair in the movie is a lot darker. In fact, it's a deeper brown, considerably so. This is practically blonde. Whereas in the movie, she's got very dark hair with highlights towards the front that are this color. Not the entirety of her hair. And of course she's missing her tattoos and the black stripes on her tail. And the red stripes on her tail. She's got black and red stripes. They just fell over off camera. Next we have King Triton. He is using the original style of mermaid tail that was introduced a very long time ago. Longer now than it seems. Honestly, I think it was introduced in the 90s. He has the Trident, the All-Powerful One. This piece we have seen in a lot of sets since its introduction in the 2000s. And he's got his armor. It's a bluish silver color, very shiny. It's printed on the shoulder pads. His head is weird. Okay, it's a blank head underneath. And it's sort of like a cowl. Unusual for a minifigure that is representing a humanoid. I've never seen any others like this. This is usually something that's reserved for like Star Wars characters or the Legends of Chima or ghosts. Not usually human persons or humanoid persons. Very different from what I'm used to seeing. And of course, the final minifigure is Ursula. She is not as sparkly as the merpeople. In fact, she doesn't have any sparkles on her. She doesn't have any indication of her bioluminescence from the film either, which is kind of disappointing. But, you know, she's cool. She's using the same Ursula piece, like tentacles, from the minifigure series of the Disney minifigures, the blind bags. Series 1 of that. It just sort of plugs in, because it's a leg piece. Well, leg piece in air quotes. It's tentacles. She doesn't have legs. Now her alternate expressions are nice. I love her alternate expressions. She's got this closed mouth smile and then she's got this very maniacal, wicked smile. Just 2 different ones. We appreciate greatly. And her hair is all like wild and floaty. We love that for her. And she is displayed on this little 1x2 brick. It is clear so that she can float in her lair. And that is the Royal Clamshell set, everybody. I enjoyed building this so much. I highly recommend it if it's within your budget. It's a really cool set. I don't expect it to be around beyond this year, though, just because that's how movie tie-in sets are. Like, once they stop making them, they stop making them. Obviously, because it's a Lego set, it's probably going to stay around a lot longer than the other stuff made it for the movie is going to. Like, the Mattel dolls, once those sell out, those are done. They're not making any more right now. The Disney Store stuff, I believe, is already out of production. They're not restocking it. So, you know, your time window to get Little Mermaid, the movie, live-action remake merchandise is the window to get it is running a little lower, but probably not for this set. Like, I wouldn't rush out and get this. Obviously, it's probably going to be around till at least Christmas. It's been out since May, and I still see it every once in a while at Target. I know Barnes & Noble still has it, and obviously Lego stores still carry it, and that extends to their online website. So if you want to get it, it's $150 here in the US. It's very fun. Again, it is an all-day build sort of set if you want to do it in one go. It takes about 8.5 hours to 8 hours to complete. And granted, I did take like an hour break, and I did get up and like take stretch breaks and bathroom breaks and eat dinner and stuff while building it. But it's still a lengthy build process. Like it's a pretty intensive one. There's 15 bags of pieces within that box. So, you know, it's an activity. It's an activity to do, and it's fun. I loved it, and I still love it, and it looks so pretty now, and it's going to go in my Little Mermaid display. And, yeah, what are your thoughts on this set? Let me know in the comments below. I'm not used to covering Legos on the channel. I am usually a fashion doll YouTuber in terms of what I cover. But this was a fun change of pace. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, morning, evening, whatever time of, like, whatever it is for you right now. And I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye!